Well, if you like the last one, I have a feeling you might like this one even more. This is the Resilient Entrepreneur Podcast, and this is Kevin Johnson of Leverage Consulting. This podcast is brought to you by If You See Something, Say Something. If you've flown out of an airport anywhere, you'll see these signs. You may even hear it on the overhead, but you'll see these things. There was a motto at the airports, I think, at one time, was if you see something, say something. And you probably have seen that in other places as well. But there's times in life where that motto plays out and it becomes really important to the success for yourself or the success of your business or your team. And what I'm getting at with this is there's times in life where you know something's not right. You just know it. You feel it. Something's just doesn't add up, or you just feel like something's not going the way it's supposed to. And I will tell you, in the last couple of months, I have had numerous situations with clients where it could have been something that's short term, meaning they just recognize something, or it's something that they've been feeling for such a long time, and they just, for whatever reason, they didn't act on it. And in each one there's a different reason or different scenario. But they just didn't act on it. And that's really the key point in all this. And it's not always about proving or pointing out someone's faults. Or I think sometimes we don't act on things because of ego or relationships or time. We can come up with a couple of factors, but in reality, it's only a handful of factors as to why people don't act on things when they just feel like something is wrong. And there's a big difference between facts and feelings, but feelings sometimes it's like it's a gut instinct, it's intuition, it's something that we know something is just not right. And it could be something very simple as, I just don't know if our new patient calls are going the way I want them to. It could be as simple as I'm not sure one of my team members is doing their job really in the entirety. They're not being thorough with their job. It could be a number of different things, but it's up to us to figure it out. So if you have that gut feeling or that intuition, I think sometimes the holdup is it's ego, it's relationship, it's the fear of how others may perceive us. And really, if we boil it down and we get rid of ego and relationship and all the other things, all we're trying to do is make things right. We're trying to make it to where oftentimes, some of the things that I'm talking about, if the new patient or new client process is making our patients and customers, clients confused, well, we're just trying to make it to where it's more of a concierge process to bring them through as a new customer, a new patient. And oftentimes, if the patient or if the people that we're bringing to us are confused, guess who it creates more work for? Us. So ultimately, all we're trying to do when we have that weird gut feeling or we have that intuition that something is wrong, all we're trying to do is prove ourselves right or wrong. Ourselves, not anyone else. We're just trying to do it for ourselves, because most of you who are listening to this, you have some position of influence wherever it is that you work. If it is your own business, we have a duty to ourselves and the rest of our team to do this thing the right way. So if we're trying to prove it to ourselves, be it right or wrong, we're either going to find out that, you know what, and this is actually the fun part or the good part in all this, is sometimes when we go in this fact-finding mission, we'll find other things that have been unrecognized in the past that are actually going really well. It could be that someone who works on your team is doing a stellar job at orienting our new customers or new patients, or we're doing a stellar job about telling them what to expect as they come on board. And we didn't know that. Well, that gives us an opportunity to recognize it, give them good feedback, recognize them in front of the rest of the team that they are doing a phenomenal job, which for many of you who are looking for opportunities to give feedback, guess what? There it is. You just did it. And I will tell you, the more you find the good stuff within your team, the more apt they are to work with you to find out how we fix things as well. So they're not looking at you as Johnny Raincloud, who's always coming in and trying to find out what's wrong with everything. If we're recognizing the good in things as well, because I can tell you, if you're listening to this podcast, your life or your practice is not entirely in shambles because you're trying to figure out, how do I make it better? So when you go on this fact-finding mission to prove yourself right or wrong, we're looking to figure out how we make this process, this system, this script, or what have you, better than what it was before. It could be that something is just literally completely missed, and sometimes it's miscommunication. Sometimes it's because someone forgot. But I will tell you, the big key in all this is trust your instinct and act on it. If you know something is not right and you don't act on it, it is going to hold you back. And if it's holding you back, it's costing you. The thing it can end up costing you is your time, your life, or your income. And one of my clients who might be listening to this might actually be shaking their head as they're listening to this podcast. And at this point, they're going, yes, it's actually cost me all three. Because I know it's cost them heartburn, theoretical heartburn. I don't know about medical heartburn, but I know it's cost them theoretical heartburn. It's cost them time with their family. It's cost them income. And just because I know that things that weren't dealt with, and for various reasons it wasn't dealt with, and this isn't a you should have type podcast. I don't do that. But not acting on it has cost them time, because now they're going back and cleaning a lot of stuff up, and they were also working around a lot of factors before. So it added time to the amount of work they had to do. But it's also cost them income. And guess what, guys? If it's costing you income, it's costing you quality of life, but it's also costing you possibly the ability to retire earlier than you thought. So imagine as a business owner that making the necessary changes could grow your business or grow your practice $700,000 per year. That's what we figured out, is that we could grow this business easily. We're not talking about, doubling the amount of work or anything else. We're just talking about getting to our own capacity and a number of other factors. But essentially, we can grow that business $700,000 per year. All because we dealt with something. All because we figured out a way to make something right. We knew something was not right. And ultimately, things have changed. And guess what? They're on the path. Things are happening. And the same type of thing can happen for you. It's just, and some of these things are going to be a little small. It may not be that you make one change is going to make $700,000 a year. But what if it made you a couple $100 a week? What if the change financially made no change whatsoever, but you got some life back? Now you can go exercise. Maybe you could now be able to go spend time with your children or your spouse or your significant other, or you have time for a hobby now. Maybe you didn't have time for a hobby, and I will tell you, I'm very big on vacations. I'm very big on hobbies. You need to have both, because it really, as a human being, we need to have something else other than work. We can't just do that. Even the people who love their work, I love what I do. I love helping clients, and I love helping them grow their business. But I can tell you right now, I'm not the same person. If I'm not able to have fun with my hobbies or go on vacation periodically and just unplug, I'm not the same person. And I can guarantee you, you're no different. In fact, there was a point in time where I actually looked at someone who used to work for me, and I said, unless you take a vacation, you're going to be terminated. And they looked at me like I was crazy, but I was not. I was serious, because there was a point at which we're going to reach burnout, and they're not going to be happy. So really, at the end, we just need to accelerate the inevitable and just say, either you take your vacation and you come back rested, relaxed, and ready, or let's just call it for what it is, and you're not going to take it, and you're going to end up in a bad place. We will all end up that way. I've seen it happen with clients. I've seen it happen with friends and family. So ultimately, if you see something, say something. It's your time, it's your life, it's your income, it's your ability to retire earlier. So, as I said in the beginning, I hope you enjoyed this one. Maybe even better than the last one. But as I said early in the previous podcast, I've got more lined up just like this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any feedback or comments or questions, please drop it in the comments below.